You finally do the responsible thing. You start saving money. Every month, you move a little bit into your savings account, $100 here, $200 there. You feel good about it. Responsible, disciplined, financially mature. But then, one day, you open your banking app and realize something strange. Your savings account has $10,000 sitting there, and it's earning something like 0.5% interest, which means after an entire year, you've made $50. Meanwhile, you keep hearing people talk about investing. Stocks, index funds, compound growth. And suddenly you start wondering, wait, am I doing this wrong? Hey everyone, quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This is educational content based on historical market data and financial principles. Always do your own research and consult licensed professionals before making investment decisions. Today, I'll show you the exact step-by-step path to transition from saving to investing without feeling overwhelmed or risking your financial security. Because saving money is good, but saving alone rarely builds real wealth. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. Let's get started. Here's something that might sound controversial. Saving money alone will almost never make you wealthy. Look, saving is important. It's absolutely crucial, but it's not the final destination. It's just the first stage of your financial journey. Because here's the fundamental difference most people miss. Savings protect your money. Investments grow your money. And those are two very different jobs requiring two very different strategies. Let's examine the actual mathematics for a moment. Imagine you save $10,000 in a typical savings account earning 1% interest. After 1 year, you have $10,100. Not bad. You protected your money and earn a little something. But now let's compare that with investing. Historically, the S&P 500 stock market has returned approximately 10% per year on average over long periods. If that same $10,000 earned 10% annually, after 1 year, you'd have $11,000. Now, that difference might not seem huge at first glance. We're talking about $900 versus $1,000 in growth. But here's what most people completely miss. The real magic is compounding over time. After 20 years, savings at 1% interest equals approximately $12,200. Investing at 10% equals approximately $67,000. Same starting amount, completely different outcome. That's a difference of nearly $55,000. And this is where it gets really interesting. The biggest wealth gap in America isn't usually between people who save and people who spend recklessly. It's between people who save and people who invest. But here's the problem. Most people never make that transition. And the reason isn't mathematical complexity. It's psychology. Saving feels safe. Investing feels risky. When your money sits in a savings account, you can see it. It doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't drop 5% on a random Tuesday afternoon. The number just sits there, stable and predictable. But investments? They move. Sometimes up, sometimes down. And that emotional volatility scares people away from the very strategy that could build their wealth. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I don't want to lose my savings. I worked hard for this money. Totally fair concern. And that's exactly why the transition from saving to investing should happen in stages, not all at once. There's a specific path that reduces risk while maximizing growth potential. Let me walk you through it step by step. Step 1. Build a real emergency fund. Before you invest a single dollar, you should have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in cash. This money stays in savings. It's non-negotiable. It's not for investing. It's not for opportunities. It's specifically for unexpected problems, job loss, medical emergencies, major car repairs, urgent home maintenance. Calculate your monthly essential expenses: rent or mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, minimum debt payments. Multiply that number by 3 to 6 months. That's your emergency fund target. Because here's what most people don't realize. The biggest reason people panic sell investments at the worst possible time is because they need the money too soon. They invested money they couldn't afford to leave invested. An emergency fund protects your investments from your own life circumstances. It creates a buffer between daily financial stress and your long-term wealth-building strategy. Without this foundation, you're building your investment portfolio on unstable ground. Step 2. Separate saving from investing mentally. This is huge, and it's where many beginners struggle psychologically. Think of saving and investing as two completely different buckets with two completely different purposes. Bucket 1. Safety money. This is your emergency fund plus short-term savings for specific goals within the next 1 to 3 years. This money sits in high-yield savings accounts or money market accounts. It doesn't move into risky investments. Bucket 2. Growth money. This money has a job: grow over time. It's allowed to fluctuate because its timeline is measured in years or decades, not weeks or months. This mental separation reduces anxiety dramatically. When the stock market drops 10% and your investment account decreases in value, you're not panicking because you know your emergency fund, your safety money, is completely separate and untouched. You're not going to need this growth money tomorrow or next month. You have time to let markets recover. Most investing mistakes happen when people blur these boundaries, when they invest money they might need soon, then panic when markets temporarily decline. Clear mental separation prevents that mistake entirely. Step 3. Start investing small. Look, a lot of beginners think investing requires thousands of dollars sitting around. It doesn't. Many modern brokerage platforms allow you to start with $50 or $100. Some even allow fractional share investing, meaning you can buy a portion of expensive stocks with whatever amount you have. The goal at first isn't massive profits. The goal is building the habit, because habits matter infinitely more than timing. Someone who invests $200 every single month for 20 years will typically outperform someone who tries to time the market perfectly with larger, sporadic investments. Consistency beats cleverness in long-term investing. Start with whatever amount feels uncomfortable but not scary. For some people, that's $50 per month. For others, it's $500. The specific number matters less than the consistency. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment account on the same day each month, right after you get paid. Make it automatic. Remove the emotional decision-making. Let the system run. And here's something most beginners don't realize. Starting small also builds your psychological tolerance for market volatility. When you have $500 invested and the market drops 10%, you lose $50. That stings, but it's manageable emotionally. You learn how markets feel without catastrophic consequences. That psychological experience is invaluable. Step 4. Focus on simple investments first. Here's where beginners often make a critical mistake. They jump straight into complicated strategies. Day trading, options trading, individual stock picking, cryptocurrency speculation, complex real estate syndications. But here's the truth that experienced investors eventually learn. The simplest investments often outperform complicated ones over long periods. For example, index funds. Index funds are investment funds that track the overall stock market or specific market segments. Instead of trying to pick individual winning companies, you're investing in hundreds or even thousands of companies simultaneously. Instant diversification, lower risk through spreading. Long-term growth aligned with overall economic expansion. It's simple, it's proven, and it works. In fact, legendary investor Benjamin Graham has repeatedly emphasized the value of broad market exposure for most investors. His student, celebrated value investor Charles Munger, echoed similar advice throughout his career about the power of simple, diversified investing. If it's good enough for history's greatest investors, it's probably good enough for beginners. Common index fund options include S&P 500 index funds, largest 500 U.S. companies. Total stock market index funds, entire U.S. market. International index funds, global diversification. Low fees, broad diversification, simple to understand. Perfect starting point. Now here's what most people don't realize. The most powerful investing strategy is actually pretty boring. It's called consistent investing or dollar cost averaging. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine you invest $300 per month into a stock market index fund. If the market averages 8% annual returns, which is slightly below the historical long-term average. After 25 years, you'd have roughly $285,000. But here's the remarkable part. You only contributed $90,000 of your own money. The rest, almost $195,000, comes entirely from investment growth and compounding. That's compounding working powerfully in your favor. But psychology still matters enormously here because investing feels deeply uncomfortable at first. Markets go down. News headlines get dramatic. Financial media screams about crashes and corrections. People panic. And this is where discipline absolutely separates successful investors from unsuccessful gamblers. Let me give you a quick analogy. Saving money is like storing seeds carefully in a jar. You're protecting them perfectly, but nothing grows. They're just preserved seeds. Investing is like planting those seeds in soil. At first, it looks messy. You don't see immediate results. The value might even seem to disappear temporarily as seeds germinate underground. But over time, things grow, and eventually, you have something far bigger than the original seeds, possibly an entire garden or orchard. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what if I start investing and the market immediately crashes? Great question, because market crashes are completely normal. They've happened dozens of times throughout investing history. The stock market has experienced major corrections approximately every 3 to 5 years, and severe bear markets roughly once per decade. But here's the key insight that separates successful long-term investors from panic sellers. Long-term investors actually benefit from market downturns. Here's why. When markets drop significantly, your regular monthly investments buy more shares at lower prices. You're essentially purchasing investments on sale. Then, when markets inevitably recover, which they historically always have over sufficient time periods, those shares you bought at discounted prices generate stronger returns. This is why many experienced investors remain remarkably calm during market volatility. They're not ignoring the downturn. They're thinking in decades, not days. Renowned investor Peter Lynch famously said, "Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves." Market crashes create opportunity for disciplined, long-term investors who keep investing consistently regardless of headlines. The investors who lose money are typically those who panic sell during downturns, locking in losses permanently. So let's summarize the complete step-by-step path from saving to investing. First, build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in a safe, accessible savings account. Second, mentally separate your money into safety money and growth money with distinct purposes. Third, start investing small amounts consistently, whatever you can sustain month after month. Fourth, focus on simple, proven long-term investments like low-cost index funds rather than complex strategies. And fifth, stay disciplined and give compounding sufficient time to work its mathematical magic. Because here's the truth most people eventually learn through experience. Saving money gives you stability and security, but investing gives you freedom and wealth-building potential. The earlier you combine both strategies appropriately, the more powerful your financial future becomes. If this video helped you understand the path from saving to investing, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.